Welcome CSC235 W1 Advanced Web Applications Fall 2023 to your Warren course tour. Since many of you are in this course, you've probably had other courses before, so this doesn't have to be very long. So I'll go through this very quickly as far as working in MyWarren and just show you around just a little bit. Just a couple things with your announcements. I have an announcement before the semester started up here about the semester beginning and about the playlist. I created a new playlist. I'm populating it with new videos because there were old videos, but we're not going to use them anymore, so there's going to be new videos populating in them, so you have to be patient with me as I record new videos this semester. There's also finding your way through e-learning. You don't really have to look at this because I'm doing that right now, so I don't know if there's a reason why you'd have to do that. But for my announcements, make sure you always hit read more because there's more information there that you probably have to check out. So go back to main screen after doing that, because I put stuff in here because it's important and you need to know it for your assignments. Also, technology needs for fall. If you read more here, you'll see that you don't have to buy any software. We do not have a Cengage book, but we'll be using web-based software that can run in a browser. Things like Replit, Gorm, even VS Code. So we'll be adjusting some of that as we go. Gorm is able to run PHP and run WordPress. VS Code and Replit are very similar as far as what they can do. So as far as some of the frameworks that we're going to work with, we may have to switch it up a little bit, but we'll start with Replit for the most part. Course information, not a lot to see right here other than my office hours. I'm not on campus very much because I'm teaching all online courses, but I can meet with you probably twice a month on a Tuesday if you can ever do that, or I can also meet with you on Zoom, and we're also going to use Microsoft Teams, I believe. I've never used that before, but I think that's what we're going to do. So you can always email me information and I'll go through your code, I'll look at your Replit account, and I'll make videos for you, whatever we need to do. So we'll take care of everything we need. So if you have any problems, please let me know. But that's the course information. The syllabus for fall 2023 is right here. This will probably change a little bit. I made it kind of tentative as far as the subject matter and as far as the calendar. So when you go down to the calendar, this will probably change a little bit, but I tried to just kind of block it off as best I could right now as far as what we're going to do. Some of this we may spend more time with, less time with, but that's kind of what we want to get to this semester. We want to have a nice variety of topics to work with. And that opens up in a PDF and you can close it up when you're done. That's the syllabus. And again, we don't have a Cengage book to work with. Discussion board, remember this counts as attendance. You'll do a student introduction, just put a couple paragraphs about kind of your education background, what courses you're taking, what courses you have taken, what you're looking to do in this course, and any personal information, any hobbies, things like that. It's always nice to know what other people are doing outside of class, because we always have a wide variety of students in these classes, a wide variety of skill levels, and it's good to know where you're at. So anything you could share in student introductions is fine. You don't have to put a picture in. You can. I put a picture in. I think I have one in there. I don't know if I see it right now. Yes, I put my casual picture in because I thought this looked too odd. So I put in a casual picture. So you can put in a picture if you like as well. But that's the discussion board. We'll focus that on topics that we're talking about this semester. We'll get feedback, we'll get your input, and we'll kind of interact a little bit more than we can with our regular exercises. And you get points for that. You get 10 points usually for each post that you do, so that adds up over 15 units. That's 150 points, so don't skip it. Some people skip it, don't skip it. And it also counts as attendance, so don't skip it. Documents and resources, this is where a lot of our book information will be. Since we don't have a book, we have some course resources here, the playlist that I'm populating. There's W3 Schools that we'll use for JavaScript and for other topics that we'll deal with. There's MDN Web Docs, which is through Mozilla, which is also a little more detailed than W3 Schools, but we'll start with W3 Schools because that's a little more beginner focused. The Replit IDE, other IDEs we might also use like Gorm, but I'll post that once we get to that. Other web design resources, we have a lot of stuff here. There'll be more added to it, but the Shay How Learn to Code book, we use that for the 230 class. There's also an advanced part, we'll get to that. And then also some other topics, the sidebar, which is news for web design, color codes, Emmet cheat sheet when we're typing code, special characters, React Dev, that's the official resource for the React framework, React Web Development in 2023 Practical Guide. I'll use this Traversing Media, I love this guy on YouTube. He has over 2 million followers. I don't have that many. I'm trying to get to 1,000, but he has 2 million, so he's doing okay. So he knows his stuff. So I'm never going to act like I know everything about web development or programming or anything like that. I will let it up to the people who really do it well, and I kind of get this stuff together and I help present it to you. So Traversy's a person who puts together a lot of nice materials, and we'll use some of his stuff as well. As far as web development, he does a guide for the overall kind of aspect of web development. It's 3 hours, but we can kind of go through it a little bit. He has a JavaScript course, he has a Crash course, he has a React course, he has all kinds of courses. I've watched a ton of his YouTube videos. He really does a great job. He's really kind of laid back, and he's one of the people when I started doing videos that I try to pattern myself after a little bit. You know, just kind of be like a normal kind of, you know, hey, here it is, not acting like I know everything about everything. And he's really good at what he does. So we could learn from other people. You're not going to get all your information and all your knowledge from me. My job is just to be a guide for you, and I'll do that the best way I can. There's also some other videos here. This is a great video to watch. Fastest way to learn web development and actually get a job. Watch this. It's like 11 minutes. You could watch it a little faster, maybe get through it in 9 minutes. It's really a great video to watch. Also, this one about programming in general is a great one to watch from Power Couple. So I'm telling you to watch these because I'm not saying that I know everything about web design and programming, but these are really good videos, and there's millions of people watching these. There's also Learn JavaScript from freecodecamp.org. I've gone through some of their camps already, and they're fantastic and they're free. And here's a Bootstrap one from Traversing Media, and I'll be adding tons of stuff to this. So lots of resources to use. That's why we don't really use a Cengage book, because there's tons of stuff online about all this stuff. Web development is so comprehensive. There's not one area that you can just learn about. I mean, even when you watch this video, they're like, you can't just learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and think you know everything about web development. There's all these frameworks to work with. There's front end, there's back end, there's so much to deal with. So we're going to try and just kind of cover a little bit of it throughout the semester and just kind of give you an overview so you might know which way you might want to get into a little bit more. That's kind of the idea of this course. It's not to prepare you to get a job specifically, but it's to kind of give you an overview so that you kind of know which direction you might want to go in. So we'll be using a lot of different resources throughout the semester, and we'll be touching on a lot of different topics. And that's in documents and resources. There'll be notes and handouts, and there's web links and bookmarks, which I was just looking at right now. So far in handouts, there's only these kind of required kind of things here. Netiquette statement, finding your way through e-learning, student e-learning tutorial. You probably won't look at those, to be honest. Maybe you'll look at the netiquette statement. Attendance, do your discussions, coursework. I'm still populating that kind of stuff. We'll start off with some reading, with some quizzes. Let me go into coursework right now just to show you some things. If you go into Unit 1, you're not really going to see anything, and I'll go into instructor mode. You'll see some things here in Unit 1, and what you're going to do for this first unit, we'll do some reading, and then I'll have a quiz on it. I don't even have it here yet, but we'll do some reading here. I'll give you kind of an overview, because I want you guys to kind of have a little bit of perspective of what we're going to do in this course and what direction we're going in before we just jump in and go into code editor and start doing HTML and CSS and JavaScript and stuff like that. I want to give you kind of a bigger picture view of some things, and we'll do that in the beginning. We'll do some reading, we'll do some quizzes, we'll do some discussions where we talk about some things. So I'm not concerned about jumping into coding immediately. First of all, I need to make sure your email is correct. So I'll have an email confirmation that I do in every online course, where I send out a blanket email to everybody in the class and you reply to me. So make sure you do that. Don't reply to me until you get it. Don't email me right now and be like, oh, I'm going to get a jump on it. Just wait till you get the email from me. And that'll be after the first day, which is the 6th. You'll do a student introduction. Like I said, you put information about your academics, put it about your personal life and hobbies and things like that, and anything that you're into. Student survey I'll put in here so I kind of know where you're at, where you're coming from, what your skill level is, what background you have, what experience you have, what software you've worked with, also what browsers you use, what platforms you use. We'll also do a pre-test as well, just to see where you're at with web design. If you had CSC230, what you remember, what you don't remember, if you had CSC103, whatever. If you're a programmer, we'll kind of find out where you're at a little bit. But again, when you take these things, the survey might give you a 0 right in the beginning. You're not going to fail it. You'll get 100%. So don't send me an email saying, how did I get a 0 on my student survey? Because it doesn't grade it properly in MyWarren. And the pretest, whatever you get, I'll give you bonus points so you have 100%. Create a Replit account. I don't know if we'll do that the first unit. I think we're going to do more reading and kind of take a quiz on some of the reading and some of the videos that we watch in the beginning, and then we'll jump into coding a little bit more in Unit 2. So that's kind of what's coming up for CSC235. I'm looking forward to the course. It's kind of a little open-ended at this point because we haven't ran it in so long, and I'd like it to be a little more detailed than just straight JavaScript all the way through. Like a programming course for JavaScript. We have a programming course for Python. I don't just want to make this a mirror course and just have it be JavaScript, because web development is very different than programming. And if you've ever talked to programmers and talked to web developers, they're very different. They're not always the crossover people that you think they are. Web developers aren't always really good with programming, and programmers don't always know a whole lot about web development. So we're going to try to really focus on web development here and the whole aspect of what's going on here. So that's what we'll do this semester. So this is your MyWarren course tour, and I think that's about it. It's about all you should know about MyWarren. I'm sure you've been in here before and you know your way around, so I'm not going to take any more of your time. But I will put an announcement up for your first unit assignments that'll be coming up on Wednesday, and that'll be at the end of the day. So if you don't see it right in the morning, I'll be traveling during the day, so that'll be at the end of the day on Wednesday, September 6th. So I'll see you then. Looking forward to getting started with this course for CSC 235.